Hello everybody, my name is Tenelin, and I've been working on getting a bunch of orange gathering scripts to purchase the new gathering mount, the Ronique, and because of this I've been testing out a bunch of different methods for orange script collectibles. This video is going to be focusing purely on the fishing methods that I think are best, as I've tested out a bunch of them and found success and failures in plenty. These are just my opinions and personal experiences with these methods, so please let me know in the comments if you think there are better ones or something you've had different experiences with. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. For any of the fish that you see me using a timer macro on, please check in the description for my casting macro that I'm using. This is just a simple macro that uses the echo function in-game to count along in chat for you so you can have an idea of how long you've had your cast out. Many fish in the game can only be caught between a certain time window from the moment that you cast to the moment that they bite, and with this information we can help narrow down the expected fish that we're hooking. For each of these methods I did multiple rounds of fishing and averaged out how many orange scripts I could get in an hour. The sample size on these is extremely small, just keep that in mind. I probably did about 5 hours on each of these methods just to get a rough idea. So let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to say, turn on your collector's glove. Make sure it's on. Check it again. Don't do 10, 20, 30 minutes of fishing before you realize you messed up. Always make sure that you have your collector's glove on, and always know anytime you catch a collectible fish, you do get the prompt asking if you want to keep it. So if you catch one of the fish that you were looking for and didn't get that prompt, your collector's glove is not on. As for gear, here are the stats that I have. I'm currently using Teamcraft's high-end Melds for both my left and right side, except for the tools. I'll go ahead and hover through all of those while I'm talking. The most important thing is you just want to make sure that you have at least 3,300 and around 50 perception or above. I'm not sure exactly what the breakpoint is, but there is one of the fish in here that you will need to have that high of perception or you will not hit the max collectability on it. The only thing that differs is my tool. I'm just using only a level 12 perception materia in my fishing rod, as I'm able to hit all of the stats that I want otherwise. And of course, don't forget to get your spearfishing gig. The highest one that you can get is level 61, but it does give you 35 more GP. The first method we're going to be discussing is the chain shark, as it seems to be the question floated around in the gathering community the most right now. The chain shark at max collectability is worth a whopping 1,000 orange gathering script, so it has to be good, right? Well, I think it's a bit complicated. The chain shark is a complete gamble, as it only has a spawn window of 5 minutes, and it requires around 10 minutes of prep to be able to do so, as it is a double mooch catch. First off, do make sure that you have the regional folklore book. On this one in particular, you're going to need the one for Cactuar, but I would also recommend that you grab the Alexandria one as well while you're here, as the two methods that we're going to be using need both of them. Of course, if you can, just always grab all of them so you never have any problems with fishing anything in the future. This is a very important step to remember, because if you do not have these books, then you will not be able to catch some of these fish. Now, from my experience, I believe the optimal way to catch the chain shark is to show up at this location in Mooch around 36:26 at around 3 p.m. Eorzean time at the latest, which will give you around 10 minutes of real-life time to prepare before its spawn time of 6 p.m. Eorzean time. Using ghost snippers, which are an orange script bait that you have to purchase for 5 orange scripts each, you want to turn on patience 2, go ahead and cast, and you're looking to hook any of the 1 strength bites with precision hook set. You're looking to get the shark nose Goby, and once you have that, you'll mooch it to try to catch the Yachtel crab, which is a 2 strength bite, and you'll need to catch that with the powerful hook set. You do have the chance though that using a mooched Goby does get you another Goby. So you might be in a repetitive cycle of just catching a bunch of Gobies a few times in a row. Once you've caught one of the Yachtel crabs, go ahead and use one of the new skills, the Spareful Hand, and this will put the Yachtel crab into your Swimbait, which you can use later for mooching the chain shark. The problem as well, there are multiple 2 strength bites that you can catch when using a mooch Goby. Overall, just getting the 3 Yachtel crab is a lot harder than you think it is. The goal that we're trying to achieve before the spawn window of the chain shark is to have 3 of these crabs stored. On average, from my experience, it takes about 10 minutes in order to get 3 of them, and maybe have enough time to get another mooch ready that you're holding for when the window comes. Be sure to refresh your patience when needed between hooks, and just know that you cannot reapply patience if you're holding a fish you want to mooch. An easy trick for this is to store the fish that you want to mooch using spare full hand, refresh your patience, and then choose it from the fish in the Swimbait menu. This will cost you 100 GP, but it's better than not getting a large yachtail crab that you can store as Swimbait. Now once you have all your crab ready, be sure to select one from your Swimbait menu, make sure your collector's glove is on, and go ahead and use prize catch. As soon as it hits 6 p.m. Eorzean time, go fishing again, and you're looking for a 2-strength bite, and go ahead and hook those. Now the issue is that you can hook other fish other than the chain shark, and there's nothing you can really do to change that. We can't use the rest trick to make sure that we're catching the chain shark between the times that it spawns after your cast, because if you use rest, you end up losing your yachtail crab, so it doesn't really matter. I would just hook whatever you get and cross your fingers that it is the chain shark. Now, you have spent about 10 minutes setting up, and you have about 5 minutes to try to catch it 3 times. The problem? The fish is very rare. Out of the dozen or so windows I've attempted to fish it, I average at most catching 1, and multiple times I have caught 0. I unfortunately have only had 1 time when I've gotten 2. In theory, if you get insanely lucky, you could catch 4 of them, 3 of them using your Swimbait, and another round of full mooch from scratch to catch a 4th. If we say that on average time spent per spawn is 15 minutes and convert that over to Orange Scrips per hour, you can get anywhere between 0 to 16,000 Orange Scrips per hour. But I think on average you'll end up getting around 2 to 4,000 every 4 windows, averaging on the low end. With the introduction of Swimbait, which allows us to store moochable fish for use later, this made it way easier to catch fish like the chain shark, but is still such a massive gamble as using the correct bait does not guarantee you catch it. It's a fantastic way to get fish once or twice for a completion log, but not something I'd call consistent. I try it out every once in a while just to mix things up, but overall I give this method a 3 out of 5 as it's not very reliable. The rest of the methods I'm going to show are a lot more consistent, so let's get to our next one, the Zorgor Condor. The Zorgor Condor is up at any time and is worth 99 scrips at max collectability. It uses a Cactuar jig and it is a 2-strength bite, and we're going to be using a new method of fishing for this one. So let's head over to Shaaloani at around 1636, and you can see you'll be fishing off the side of a cliff. Now this fish, which is actually a bird, uses another of the new skills that we got in Dawntrail, which I think was one of the most fun ways that I've ever fished in Final Fantasy XIV. We're going to be using Ambitious Lure to be able to attract this fish. Now Ambitious Lure is a skill that allows you to attract larger fish, and it has certain interactions with some of the fish in the game that you can use specifically for them. This is a much more active method than our standard fishing. So let's go ahead and equip a Cactuar jig as your bait, which you can purchase from some of the vendors in Shaaloani for just about 1,000 gil, so it makes it an easy bait to actually get. You're going to want to use prize catch before casting out. Once you cast, click on your Ambitious Lure, and you're going to want to use this up to 3 times per cast until the text, "A winged shadow rises from within the mists," pops up on your screen. If you don't see this pop up, go ahead and use the rest skill to bring in your cast and save both your bait and your prize catch. Cast again and repeat the Ambitious Lure until the text pops up. Once you have the text, you are looking for a 2-strength bite after the 21 seconds since your cast has gone out. If you get a 1-strength bite or an early 2-strength bite, you can use rest to bring your cast back in, which will leave the fish and save your prize catch for the next cast. If that happens, go ahead and start again while just casting out and using Ambitious Lure until you get the text pop up again. Once you get a 2-strength bite after 21 seconds, go ahead and use the standard hook and reel it in, and you'll get yourself a Zorgor Condor. Now, unfortunately, the only downside of this is the Zorgor Scorpion can also be caught at around the 21 seconds on a 2-strength bite as well, but using this method of using rest if you get something underneath 21 seconds or a 1-strength bite will just save you a lot of time and a lot of GP on this method. You're still just looking to aim for anything that is a 2-strength bite after 21 seconds after you've had the Ambitious Lure text pop up on your screen. Again, the macro for my cast button is in the description that you can use so you can track how long you've had your cast out. In my opinion, the Condor is one of the best fish to catch right now for Orange Scrips, as it does not have any time or weather requirements. It's relatively easy, and it's worth 99 scrips each. You only have 1 conflicting fish that you could potentially catch, the Zorgor Scorpion, which compared to some of the other methods, there are a lot of overlapping fish on them. 1 is not that bad. In 1 hour, I have been averaging about 33 condors caught for a total of 3,366 scripts per hour. Combined with the use of the Cactuar jig, which is a very easy bait to get, and it saves you a bunch of bait where some of the methods use orange scripts or purple script baits, I give this method a 4 out of 5. There's only one method that I have found that is better than this one, and that is our next one, the Copper Shark. Now, the Copper Shark does have a unique spawn window where it's only available during cloudy and foggy weather. That max collectability is worth 156 scripts. It uses the Ghost Nipper bait, which is a 5 orange script bait. It is a 2 strength hook, and it will be using the same ambitious lure method that we used for the Condor. You'll want to go to living memory at around 928. Keep in mind for this one, you do need the 3rd folklore book, the book for Alexandria, in order to be able to catch these. Now, the catch again is that this fish does have a weather specific spawn where it's only available in foggy or cloudy weather. The weather in Eorzea changes every 8 hours of Eorzean time, or approximately every 23 minutes of real life time. Now, I'm not an expert on how the weather rotates in Eorzea, but it is something that you can use websites to track, and the one that I recommend is NekoBot, which I'll link in the description. You can see the weather patterns as well as the future weather in your local time zones so you can pre-plan. You can use a website like that, or you can use Teamcraft's gathering alarms to be able to track when the fish will spawn exactly, and not have to worry about tracking the weather. Be sure to check out my Teamcraft's alarm overlay guide if you aren't sure how to set this up. Now, like I said, this fish will spawn during these weather windows, and they will be available for 23 minutes. There are a couple of times throughout the day where they will have back-to-back weather, making this fish actually available for 46 minutes at a time, and those windows are just honestly fantastic. Once the fish is up, make sure you're at the correct spot, and you're going to want to go ahead and use prize catch, and you're going to cast out your line. Again, we're going to be using ambitious lure up to 3 times until you get the prompt, "A gentle giant stirs beneath the water," and then you can start watching your timer. If you don't get the text prompt after the 3rd cast, be sure to use rest to reel back in and cast out again to repeat the 3 ambitious lures. Once the text pops up, you're looking for a 2 strength bite after 21 seconds on this one as well. If you get a 1 strength bite or a 2 strength bite before 21 seconds, go ahead and use rest to reel in and save your prize catch. Unfortunately, you are going to lose your bait a lot of the time, but if it's not what we're looking for, we're just going to go ahead and save ourselves the time that we spend and the GP that we'll have to use on prize catch. Overall, this increases the amount of fish that you catch per hour significantly. If you didn't catch one, go ahead and just cast again and repeat the ambitious lure until you get the gentle giant text prompt. Once you do get a 2 strength hook after the 21 second window and the text prompt has been up, go ahead and just use standard hook to catch it. Make sure that you did have your collector's glove on by getting the prompt asking if you want to keep the fish, and be sure to click OK. Anytime you're able to catch the Copper Shark during its spawn window, and it ends up being the most orange scripts per hour that I've been able to find. In an average 23-minute spawn window, I catch around 11 or 12 Copper Sharks, and they're worth 156 scripts each. If we normalize this out to a full hour, you can catch around 30 an hour, giving you 4,680 scripts per hour. And even if you assume you use about 100 ghost nippers over the course of that hour, which cost 5 orange scripts each, you still gain a net of 4,180 orange scripts per hour, which is nearly 30% more per hour than the Condor. The only downside is that the weather pattern can be a bit of a pain, where you won't see the fish spawn for hours at a time. But like I said, there are other times where you will get the back-to-back weather cycles where you can get a full 46 minutes of catch time. Regardless, if you're around and able to catch the Copper Sharks during their spawn window, it's definitely the best method, and I give it a 5 out of 5. In conclusion, I do believe that the combination of the Condor and the Copper Shark is the best way to fish for orange scripts. If you're able to hit a few of the spawn windows on the Copper Shark, and in your downtime do the Condor, you'll average somewhere around 3,500 orange scripts an hour, and with the price of the Ronique tokens right now, you're able to make about 400,000 gil per hour doing this. Or if you're just like me, you're looking to save yourself nearly 15 mil farming out this cool amount, this is definitely the way that I prefer doing it. I would love to hear about any of the methods that you all have found and you've had success with. Feel free to tell me about them in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you'd like to support me in making more content in the future, please check out my Ko-fi link in the description. I wish you all good luck and happy fishing!